All right, more turtle talk this week. It's going to be a lot of turtle talk this month just because there were so many new drops. And of course, Super7 had a great drop come out in the past few weeks. I only picked up half the wave because I wasn't really interested in a reissued Shredder or the Space Cadet Raph. What was really cool, and I was really looking forward into this wave, is these two characters here, which I'm going to show you today. And that first one is the Genghis frog. Fun thing about these slipcovers, I think this is the last wave that is getting these. The Super7 has said that, and the new pre-orders for the new characters, this says the slipcovers aren't included anymore. So I think people just didn't care about these. They kept the packaging if they kept the packaging. If not, this was just a waste. So I think this is going to be the standard from now on. So you can see on the box here, great job with this Genghis frog. I mean, much more colorful than the original version. You have this alternate head here. You have these glasses, which I'm hoping actually stay on his head. We'll find out. You can see the grenades neatly painted in the belt and that long tongue gun as well. On the back, you got that moniker, the Tubular Surfing Dude, which kind of talks about how his history of being tricked by Shredder to go against the Turtles, but then he realized the Turtles were good, so teamed up with them. Usually synonymous as being a good guy with the Turtles, featured on the back of the old Playmates cards is on the Turtles side. And then over here we have Robotic Rocksteady, the first of two robotic characters we're getting. We're not going to be about until much later. Robotic Rocksteady, I believe he also went by the moniker the Mighty Rocksteady. Shredder and Krang created these two to be sort of high-tech versions of Bebop and Rocksteady. You can check out him out in the packaging here. Well, he does have a nice silver application. He's not the vacuum form chrome look of the original Robotic Rocksteady that came out, I believe, in 1993. If you were lucky to get one of those turtles, he was getting toward the end of the line there at that point, the original run. So his moniker here is the Sinister Steel-Jointed Thug, as seen on the back of the package. So obeying Shredder's every command. The smarter of the two. Also quite large. A lot of value here in this figure that was listed for $65. I haven't seen packaging this large since the Leatherhead for the Super7's line. So yeah, Mighty Rocksteady here and Genghis Frog. We're going to pop these two up open and check them out and see if we can find any little hidden details or surprises. But immediately just looking at the boxes and seeing the characters here, they look amazing. We saw them at Comic-Con, we saw them at Toy Fair, and now we finally have them. So let's just hop right in and check them out. Getting to work on opening this guy just has a piece of tape at the top. These are generally pretty easy to open, the outer boxes at least. Let's see what little surprises we have once we get inside the packaging here. So we'll do a quick overview of the tray. And what you got is an additional set of hands up here. Looking at the hands, we got a fist and then what looks like a weapon holding hand. And that's probably the same on this side as well. We get that tongue lash gun, similar to the one that came with the original Playmates figure. This time it's all painted. We have those sunglasses, which could never get to stick on the original figure. And we have an alternate head with a tongue lashing out there. We have grenades that look to be fixed this time as opposed to the removable ones you got with the Playmates figure. And then we have that surfer shield behind him here in the tray. So that is the entire character there. Let's pop him open. There's some additional tape here holding the two sections of, what would you call these? Not I guess trays. These two trays together. So there's some tape holding these together, and it looks like the second side here with the surfboard, I'm noticing immediately, if I can get this thing out, there is a fun little, and this is taped into, geez. Okay, so that's hidden. So our first little surprise that I don't think I saw previously is there is a fun little wrist strap here. Like if you ever used a surfboard or a boogie board, you'd have this to secure it so it, if you got separated from the board and with the waves, it wouldn't get away from you. So that's a fun little detail. This is also an elastic cord. So it's kind of cool there to give a little sling to it. And it's fully decorated. The previous version of this was all blue. It still has these little fins on the bottom, but it's fully colored. It's fully painted. Very nice, sharp looking little board there. And it's pretty sturdy as well. And it's a lot larger, I think, in comparison to the figure. The original was more of like a shield. This one looks like a functional board in addition to that. We have the sunglasses here. We're going to give those a try out just to see if they work with the character. And then we have the character himself. Let me see if he is secured. He is secured by some of those tabs that I absolutely hate, but we're just going to crack those out. And just as I said, just one, so not too bad. Let's see if I can get him out without embarrassing myself. All right, he is definitely secured in here. Really fitted in. Yeah, well, while I'm struggling to get him out, why don't I give you guys a 360 look at this amazing figure. And all right, and you see him here as he's been spinning. Great detail on this guy. He's wearing, of course, that nice Hawaiian shirt, or whatever kind of shirt you call it. I think it's a Hawaiian shirt. Wow, everything down to the wristwatch, the grenades, the gold chains around his neck, which aren't one piece. They're separate pieces on there. The shirt is even sort of elevated, although is kind of molded onto him. Gives it a little depth there. That belt is its own piece. He's got much more pronounced shorts on there. Looks like a swim trunks. And then you can see all those little warts all over his skin, that little extra gold chain on his left wrist, on his left ankle. I mean, a lot of detailing on this guy. Really awesome. And of course, I love this scale because they're just a little bulkier and they feel like marionettes more than they do action figures. And I kind of like that design to them. They're almost like these little puppets. So his head has got this nice rotation side to side and up and down. A little bit different than the other ones. I kind of like that. I guess the positioning of it as a frog, of leaning over a little bit, pretty nice. Why don't we quickly just look at the articulation here. He's got that wrist articulation, a hand spin as well. That double elbow, very smooth on there. The shoulder up, down, left, right, all the way around there. The head, of course, I showed you. He has a little ab articulation, if you can see the abs in there. So he has that movement side to side as well. Then he has the leg on that ball joint there, so that moves around pretty well. And then he has that double knee, and I think the knees are hidden very well underneath the scales here, or whatever the frog skin is. And then, yeah, that ankle articulation side to side as well. Really nice on the articulation on this guy. Really easy to pose, really right out of the box. They move really smooth, no problems, nothing's getting hung up. If you watch that review I just did for the last Ronin figures, you saw on the Sinja the joints are really tight and rigid, and it was hard getting the head to come on and off. Super 7's joints are very smooth. They work really well right out of the box. There's no additional need to heat them or stress them or anything to get things functioning. And we'll test everything here in just a second. I want to check out this really long tongue blaster, and it still has the same function where you could pull it in just a little bit and then push it out. I never really understood this thing because it didn't add much to the reach, but it was a fun little gimmick. And you can put that in his hand here, and it gives him his little blaster, and it just has a lot more reach to it. It's kind of fun. I mean, still a little, he's weighty, so this doesn't topple him if you get the right center of balance here. So nice, I guess. It's just such a weird weapon, but that is included here. And then I love this alternate head that it comes with. It's a very animated looking head here. It's got the tongue sticking out, and let's just give it a quick test. I'll do my little rotate and pull on these heads. Oh, and the necklace, I guess you could remove it if you wanted to, because it pops off with the head there. So that wasn't too difficult to get that out. Let's see how the other one is to get on. I struggled so much with that Sinja head the other day. I really hope I don't have that problem here with this guy. It's a little difficult, but I think I got it. There we go. So he's got his tongue sticking out there, looking a little wild. Love that. I mean, what a great look for this guy. It's just kind of crazy. So much more frog-like, just a little bit more fun, a little personality injected into there. Let's give it a little test here. We'll do a hand test. I think the hands he comes with are slightly bigger and give you a slightly more range to hold things. But these hands are, the other hands are a little narrower. I want to call them weapon holding hands. And that came off really easy. And just a little twist that came in pretty easy. And let's see, if I wanted to put like the shield in there, I bet you could do that with just a little stretching. Or maybe it's easier to go on this one. I just feel like these other hands that it came stock with are just a little wider on the grip. And he's doing that pretty well. That shield is heavy, but you could still use that bulkiness to get him centered. So not bad. And then the of course that little bracelet opens up, so you could fit that around his wrist. It's just going to be like one of those little pressure pegs you just force through the holes there to tighten it. But pretty nice all around. Yeah, and I bet you could put this in here and get a little bit more of a secure grip. But that's really the only other function there. So pretty nice figure all around. Great detail on him. Absolutely love this look of this alternate head, and still love that bright colored shirt. But yeah, I mean, pretty impressive figure, particularly how they did that midsection to make it look like his abs there. It's really nice. And all that bumps and all that detail on this figure. Very nice, worth the wait. Exciting to see him join the line. He was one of the earliest figures I remember getting. So it's cool to have him with the other ones now. All right, let's take a look at that giant robot Rocksteady. All right, I bet you thought I forgot about the glasses. I did not. They sit on there, but they will fall off because he doesn't have ears. So not much of an improvement on these shades. They look really cool as long as he doesn't move, but without the ears, they just kind of fall off of him. So just thought I'd show you that. So that's kind of consistent to the original though. I could never get those things to stay on, although these fit on a little looser. The original ones would just fly off of him when you try to stick them on because they were just not wide enough, and you'd have to wedge them on, and the force would cause them to fly off. So let's check this guy out here really quick. He's got some flame effects. He's got his little, I forget what this is, kind of like a little wrist flamethrower thing here on the side, and then a shield in the back, and a little blade attachment. We'll check all these out here in just a moment. First, we see he's got some tape securing the tray to the back here. So excited to see this one. This was I guess a surprise addition to the line. At this point, I thought they would have done some of the other characters like Ground Shark and Pizza Face and all those kind of other mutants and stuff first, but they went with the robot from toward the end of the line, but still a fun character. Or two fun characters when Bebop comes out as well. So this guy is secured in with wire ties. That's what I'm struggling to get right now, just so we don't have to fight with that and as I show you this character. So we have him here. All right. And he also has these little things on the feet. So he's a little bulkier. You can feel the weight of this thing immediately. So I think they had to secure him a little bit more than the other figures. So expect to do a little more work to get him out, but I'm sure he will be worth it. I think that is all. We'll find out in just a minute. So I also see some alternate hands in here. He's got some wide gripping hands, some fists, and yeah, so just an assortment. We'll see how these all attach in. And we get that nice shield with this translucence on it, this nice purple hue to it. So a nice job on that. It's thick, really nice sturdy shield. And we have this mechanical attachment here with the blades. All right, let's see if we get this guy out without too much trouble and take a look at how amazing he looks. So I'll try peeling him out by the feet first. Definitely a little bulkier than the other figures. Gonna take a little more effort to get him out than we're used to. Yep, he is definitely a hassle. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is work the arms out here. 1, 2. And there we go. Except he's still held in there by a wire. All right. I'll get this wire off. While I get this wire off his neck, why don't we take a look at him? So you can see, yeah, he's a very imposing character, much larger than others. very bulky. I like the metallic paint they put on there. I do wish he was that silver sort of chrome look, but I get doing that in this scale would be very expensive. I mean, we heard a lot from Hasbro about the vacuum form and why it took so long to get C-3PO in the Retro Collection line, especially with the vacuum form deco, and keep them at a reasonable price point. I'm not sure what has changed in the technology since it was back in the 80s and 90s, but we don't see a lot of people do vacuum form as much anymore. So yeah, very nice design to that, and that translucence on the top too as well. I mean, a lot of great paint applications in here, that little wire readout. There's some gap in the jaw, but it doesn't look like you could open it. If I determine you can, I'll show you in the next scene, but it doesn't seem like you can. It doesn't seem to be a hinge for the jaw there. So I think this is just where they kind of constructed it. So we got a nice articulation, and that head moves around there. There's no alternate head. We have these nice shoulder cannons that spin around here. Nice articulation in that shoulder and the elbow there. And the bicep turns. I mean, he's a robot, so there should be more limited articulation, but we could still have a nice range here. Turns, there's no abs, obviously. He's a robot. He could move the leg here. A lot of directions there on the leg, upper hip articulation, knee articulation, and then ankle articulation. So sturdy figure, a lot of articulation on him, so you get some nice poses. We'll check out some of his attachments here. Quickly, we'll just check out this shield and see if we could get this in his hand. So the shield we should be able to clip in here. It's always tricky getting the first weapon in, because I feel like you have to maneuver that hand for the first time, and that could just be a little tricky, and you're going to have to create a little more space than you usually would. But here we go. We got that shield in on this one. His hands are very blocky, so it's difficult to get this in. But I think that's roughly. I think you kind of have to get it in this way. I'm not sure how to do that. Yeah, they're a little blocky. We'll figure it out in just a second. So I think in addition to the hands, you're supposed to pull them out like this, and then you could pop in these other attachments like this saw hand, which is very fun there. He has these other sort of flame attachments here, and I think these go up in the cannon here to create a little fire effect. So kit them out here a little bit. Remember, some early Thousands figures had these blast effects. They're fun. And then the only other accessory he has is this sort of, I can't remember if this is a laser sword or a flamethrower, but let's get the flame effect for it here. And if I can figure out how to get this piece out of this container, I'll show you. Here we go. And it goes on here like this. Or it's supposed to. I'm not having a lot of luck with this stuff today. But anyway, this, I believe, form fits over here. And then you're supposed to be able to get this on here somehow. But the opening feels like it's just a little too small. So I'm going to play around with that in a second. But yeah, here he is kind of kitted out. And if you could figure out how to get the shield in here, maybe the alternate hand. I'll try that. We'll take the alternate hand here and see if we get it just kind of wedged in there. That might actually be a little bit better, the alternate hand, because the way this is kind of gripped, like putting it in, you can't kind of angle it around. I don't know how you get this in that way, just with the way the grip is on this hand. So just an alternate way of doing that. You'd probably have to take this off anyway. We'll try switching. These hands move out pretty smooth. I appreciate that. I like nice smooth hands. And this one here. So you could have that shield up. You could have that hand. You could switch it around and put on the other hand there. So he's moving pretty smooth, with the exception of I can't get this in this tiny hole. Oh wait, there we go. Took a little effort to get that in there, but you could get that in there. And he's got his little beam now. So fully kitted out. Here we go. Except, I mean, no, I can't hold the shield and do all this. So kitted out for the most part. But I mean, look at all that detail on this figure. I mean, absolutely amazing. They did a gorgeous job on him. He's huge. I love that. Again, this much bigger scale is a lot of fun. Can't wait to pair him up with Bebop. I know it's going to be like sometime in the spring, so we got a while. But this line is starting to get really fun. I mean, we got some great ones coming out, hopefully this month or early next month. I'm talking about Scumbug, talking about Wingnut and Screwloose, and a couple others. Yeah, they just look really, really awesome. So can't wait for the next edition. And then, of course, we have that amazing Triceratops coming up soon. So we'll check that out. But that is your look at Robotic Rocksteady. All right, Turtles fans, that is a wrap for our look at some figures from the latest Super 7 TMNT Ultimates wave. I forget which wave this is, maybe 8, maybe 7. I'm losing track because they're all out of sort because I think 9 doesn't come out, or what is it? Yeah, 9 doesn't come out until March, but 10 comes out in January. It's all over the place, something like that, but the waves are all cobbled up now. I think it was Rat King that threw everything off because he was in that wave and they had to reconfigure the wave, and now Rat King isn't coming out until like 2025 or something, whatever. But he is coming out still. But that is your look at these newest editions. I think they're pretty awesome. Great getting this guy finally. He's been from the early collection of the Playmates line, so it's about time we got him. Several waves deep, we finally get him in the line. We're getting a lot of characters that are coming out in the line that are getting to that early stage of the collecting, including Wingnut. I'd love to see more mutants. I know we got Scumbug coming out, but I'm missing Groundhog and Dirtbag, or Ground Truck and Dirtbag and Pizza Face. Those are another 3 of my favorite characters, just because the kind of the design to them is really neat. Chrome Dome at some point, and hopefully he is Chrome. I don't know, we'll see. But these guys are awesome. This was a fun one to see, and kind of a deep cut in line, I think. Not as many people had this character growing up because he came out toward the end of the line. So fun to get this guy either way, and obviously fun to have this much more beefed up version of Genghis Frog. So that's all for this time. We're going to have many more Turtles for you this month. I don't want to spoil it, but I'll just say there was a recent 2-pack that came out from NECA, so we'll be looking at that next week, and I'm sure you know what that is. And then I have some other things as well, and if I get the indie stuff in time, I want to show you the new Gallery Diorama Indie that came out, as well as those amazing Gallery Diorama Turtles. The Michelangelo and Leonardo are on shelves now, so we'll show you guys that, the first of 4 of that display. So tune back for that. Like, subscribe, and follow, and we will see you guys next time.